Okay, cool. All right. Good? Yes.
YouTube Live. Interesting.
Oh, but I got two sounds going on here. Just a second. Okay. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay, we're on. Welcome everyone for the Visionaries Kiss podcast, where we talk everything is mindset, attitude, and future visions. I'm Brian Jacobsen here, and tonight I have a special guest with me, and he is a resident from Las Vegas now. He is a app developer, programmer, but he's also a father, and just these days he's training for something called Ninja Warrior. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce you to Chris Workman. So,
hey, what's up, everybody? I am Chris Workman. I am the American Ninja Warrior.
Oh yeah,
I'm grateful to be on the show.
Great for it. Okay, Chris, glad to have you here. I'm super excited. You know, we already had a little talk about some fasting and getting in shape, and I said app developer, right? But you're also an apps guy, right? You're starting to have some apps. You did some fasting.
Yeah, apps and abs all at the same time. You know, as a ninja, you got to have abs, man. You got to have that nice, strong core. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So we're all about mindset. So what I want to kick it off with is how do you do all that? I mean, your last name is Workman, so of course you're putting in a lot of work. I see. Yeah. But so can you tell us a little bit about just who you are, what's been going on for you the last couple of years? Why are you in Las Vegas now? And just take us to that place first.
Yeah, sure. Not a problem. Just a little bit of a background. First of all, I have an electrical engineering background. And with engineering, it got me into coding a little bit. I've learned a lot about coding. And just over the years, I've had my ups and downs in life, right? So when you're up, everything feels good. But then sometimes when you're feeling really good, you get complacent. And when you're complacent, sometimes you fall off the wagon, you don't realize it. And then before you know it, you're at the bottom. So when I was at the bottom of my life, I had to re-engineer my lifestyle and design.
And where were you at? Are you living in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I was living in Las Vegas at that time. Okay. And then at that time, I started using affirmations to reprogram my lifestyle, reprogram my mind and my spirituality in terms of affirmations. And I said things like, I am well, I am strong, I am grateful. And from there, things started blossoming, and I moved to Arizona. I found a really good job, and then I had an opportunity to create this app called I Am That I Am. And it's an affirmation recording app. And I've used that to change my mindset. And I've actually used this tool for Ninja Warrior. And I retrained my mind and I became really strong. And then I ended up moving back to Las Vegas to be closer to my family and continue to train for American Ninja Warrior. So
so that's some stuff for us all there. So
absolutely,
basically, for people who doesn't know really what is the mind is a way of having an employee. It needs to do what we tells it, and if it doesn't do what we tell it, you need to train it, and that's super important because you can end up in the hospital or rock bottom. What is rock bottom like? Can you share a little bit?
Well, rock bottom for me is it's physical, right? Because when you start worrying about things that you just start having this unconscious worrying pattern, you start feeling physical symptoms. And what was happening to me is that because I was training for Ninja Warrior, I'm a single dad, I was working for myself as an app developer, I started getting these physical symptoms in my body, such as stress, anxiety, panic attacks. I was having some digestive problems. And 2016, 2017, 2018, I can just feel myself progressively getting worse. 2018 was one of the hardest times of my life, physical wise, mental wise, because I didn't know what was going on with my body. While I was training for Ninja Warrior, I was just feeling really sick. So I ended up having to get into this whole wellness and health program where I've detoxed my body, utilizing the bone broth methods, right, of fasting. detoxed my body, and then started eating proper foods that is designed for my body. And I just started feeling much, much better. And I've realized how important it is to have good health, especially if you're training, especially if you have a lot of things going on in your life at the same time, you know, because that stress can cause a lot of problems in your body. So I had to learn how to adapt to stress, learn how to eat properly, and maintain a healthy balance in my life. And it's still a work in progress. I'm not 100% healed. There's still a lot of issues I'm still dealing with, but I got a better grasp on my life.
That sounds amazing. So actually what happens there, what I hear you saying is that you are having some issues in your life and you didn't accept it just like that's the way it's supposed to be, right? You wanted to move on. You had some goals for yourself. Ninja Warrior sounds amazing. Gonna look more into that. I want to hear what that's all about.
Sure.
And you said you trained your mind with affirmations and this app that's called I Am That I Am app. Okay, so affirmations is, you said it's daily resetting your mind to develop or create something, right? So you say to yourself what it is you want to experience more of. But that's not only it, right? It's not only mental. You started to also eat different. You wanted to have a new well-being in your body, which is important. I mean, you're doing some physical stuff, but we all have to feel great as well, to greet everyone, to do what we love and be focused. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true, man. You know, to have a holistic, balanced lifestyle, you got to look at every area of your life. So you got money, career, family, health, and love. And I know there's one area of your life that you might feel like you're lacking in. And in my scenario, it was health, right? I was really lacking in terms of health. So what you do is that, what I did was I created positive affirmations in the present moment, as if what I desired is here right now. So I created affirmations in the present tense, and I repeated them over and over. I recorded it into the app because the app allows you to record your affirmations and play them back. And you can add music to create the feeling, and you can add.
So just if anybody here is listening right now live, I'll leave a link below for that app. It's also made with Kingsley, one of my good friends, and I know it's one of your good friends as well, Workman.
Yes.
But there'll be a link for that. You'll have some good opportunity to make some of these progress yourself. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, exactly. So what I did was that saying these affirmations is just a mindset, right? So it puts you in the positive direction of where you want of your desired outcome, but you still have to do the physical actions, you know, like eating healthier, going to the gym, doing the steps that takes you closer to your goals. And that's what I was doing for not only my career and my health, but also in fitness. I would tell my thing, especially for Ninja Warrior, I would say things like, I am strong, I have amazing endurance, I will hit the buzzer on top of that warp wall. I'm not sure. And if the audience are listening, if you guys haven't heard of American Ninja Warrior, it's an obstacle course race. It's just basically you against the obstacles, and there's like 7 to 10 obstacles, and at the end you hit this buzzer, and if you win the whole thing, it's $1 million reward. So because of that $1 million reward, all I kept thinking about was being successful and visualizing my success. But just to talk, Brian, in terms of the imbalance that I had while I was training for Ninja Warrior, I was feeling sick, and I've realized that I was not eating properly during my training. So
how were you eating, by the way?
What's
McDonald's? Were you on McDonald's?
You know what? I have a son, and he likes to eat McDonald's and drink soda. I remember when I was a kid, I would eat that and drink, and it's kind of hard when you're hungry and you have not prepared. You know, when you don't prepare for your meals, what ends up happening, you end up eating bad food, because that's the quickest food that you can get at that moment. So
I set up your mind for it, huh? You were just going with the flow. It's like, that's what's here. That's what I'm going to have, you know?
Yeah, there's the McDonald's right around the corner. Let me go ahead and eat a McDonald's. And I've realized over time that it was causing more harm than good, you know?
Yeah.
And this is where I had to take a step back, clean my system, and start creating a system that works for me. And Brian, 2020, I need to create this template, this eating template that is designed for my body, because I know everybody's body's differently.
Yeah.
And I need to create
My skin tone is a little different than yours also.
slightly, yeah, it's slightly lighter,
Yeah.
No tan. I got the Las Vegas tan right now.
I'm not saying anything, it's the lights. It's always just the lights.
It's always the lighting. But yeah, so I'm just this year is just I'm focusing on my health, focusing on health and making sure I'm doing my daily affirmations, so I make sure that my mind, body, and spirit is in an alignment with what I desire this year. And I really think that's important.
So I love these affirmations. I use affirmations in a way myself also. But what's important for me, and I want to check in with you also, when I do affirmations for myself, I see something in my mind. I see something that for example, I'm driving my Tesla and I fucking love it. And it's the greatest thing for life, right? And it's not just about having that Tesla. It's that feeling, that drive, that energizing feeling. When I have that Tesla, that's what I'm bringing in the present moment. That's what I'm moving on with in the podcast here. And, when I talk with people, and that's the life-making energy. So when you're doing an affirmation, do you see images or some feeling happens? What goes on for you?
Well, me, it's definitely visualizing. Visualizing does create the feeling. You want to create ideas in your head that creates a strong feeling, because that feeling is what pushes out into the universe, right? Yep. And if you can visualize it in your mind, then technically it's happening in the now. It's happening in the present moment as you are thinking about it. Because your mind can't tell the difference between what is being imagined and what's actually happening. So when I visualize myself on the Ninja Warrior obstacles, I'm actually there. Yes. I'm there, and I can feel my heart beating a different way because I'm visualizing. And I think that's important that you do that on a regular basis in terms of what you want, and start visualizing your ideal self, right? The best version of yourself. And then I think what happens when you do that over and over, your body, your behaviors and actions on a very subtle level is moving towards that desired state. And you'll be surprised, the right people just show up. Like you showed up in my life.
And you showed up for my podcast. I mean, I visualize podcasts, and I'm like, I want to talk with some awesome people, and you're right here. It's awesome.
I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Now, and I've been working with Kingsley, and Kingsley's such an awesome guy. He's been a really strong influence in my life in terms of positivity, and I'm glad you guys are friends and you got us together, because it's all about the right people that you surround yourself with, right? You want to surround yourself with the right-minded people that's going to, support you and bring you to a much higher level in life.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. So just going back to your story so people have an idea. So you found out that this shit, I want something completely different. You wanted something else. You wanted to feel good, huh?
Yes.
So it's important to feel good. It's not like, oh, that is selfish of myself. No, I mean, when I feel great, I can do so much more for everyone, just, shopping or being with my girlfriend or myself. I mean, when I feel great, I can do so much more. So
yeah, man, it's all about feeling good for me. Like, I like to work out. I like to look good physically. I like to have that aesthetics. I mean, when you look good, you feel good, right? But ultimately, I just want to feel good, it's accepting where you are right now. Is accepting your flaws that you have. Is accepting your situation, your environment. It's accepting where you are and being okay with that, and just feeling good. And sometimes social media can cause a variance in terms of like where you are and something that you're trying to achieve, and you see other people's success and you start comparing yourself to other people, and then when you do that, you feel like you're not enough. But try to disconnect from social media, because none of that's real anyways, right? It's just an
image.
It's just an image. They're just little pixels on a screen.
Yeah, it's nothing else. And we give it value. I mean, there's no leaf. There's no leaf on a tree that looks like any other leaf in the world. And that leaf is just perfect that way. I mean, you're perfect in your way, right?
Yeah, and you're perfect in your own way. And the idea is just to feel good. And because when you feel good, everything else is good around you, right? Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So your outer and your inner is a reflection of what's going on with you, and you are what you create. So you need to be okay with who you are, feel good, so more goodness can come to you.
Yes,
And
and
that's
when you say that, actually, I want to jump in a little bit and say, like, I can look at the same garden here in my garden outside my house, right?
yeah.
And on days where I feel bad, I see leaves are on the ground. It's a little bit dull, the sky. Oh, there's clouds on the sky. It's not a good weather. But if I feel great, it doesn't matter the weather. I'll always find something that looks beautiful, always something that amazes me. I notice the birds, for example, playing around. It's all about my inner state first.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
And you know what? When I was feeling really, really, really sick, and the doctor said that I might have a brain tumor. I know that was a really big statement. I remember telling you before.
yeah.
At that moment is when I realized, you know what? I'm not going to let this sickness defeat me. I am going to turn this around. And I became very, very grateful for the little things in life, like when in the my son's smile, my mom's hugs, my dog's licks on my face, the hot blanket that comes out of the dryer. What did you say? You said what?
The boogers.
The boogers.
This one is a good one, man.
As you clear it out of your nostrils, you just feel more clear and more abundant. Just going outside, the cool breeze.
Yes.
The little things you start. The little things you become grateful for, and that was my shift in terms of sickness to health, was making that little subtle shift, and then started feeling better about my life. I started writing down things in my notebook, like 7 magic moments of the week.
Moments, yeah.
Yeah, said like what happened last week, what happened 2 weeks ago. You can refer back to your journal and go back 3 weeks and see like these magic moments that happened. So you become more grateful for the things throughout your day, and you start looking for that throughout the day. Because if your assignment to yourself is that I'm going to write down 3 things I'm grateful for, or 3 magic moments that happened today, and then you start pinging your environment to look for those 3 magic things that happened in the day so you can write it down. Then at the end of the week, you write down your top 7. So you kind of just have this everything is wonderful type of vibe.
I'm going to take this note. Just 7 awesome things last week, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, try writing down 3 awesome things that happened. Like number 1, I had an epic shower this morning with my affirmations playing and music.
Right.
Number 2, I had a great podcast with Brian. Number 3, something wonderful is going to happen to me today. So that would be my number 3.
And also, I see when you say that, I can feel already I'm expecting more awesome things to happen because I'm looking for them. I'm already, I set up my mind. That's mindset. That is true mindset training, to set yourself up looking for, both in your past and in your future and in your presence, what's actually amusing me, what makes me have a good time.
And you know what I've noticed is that I have such a good time with my projects that I neglect. And this is a problem that I'm going to fix, that I am fixing, is that I have so much good energy when I'm developing apps, and especially these affirmation recording apps, because we are bubble wrapping these apps for other influencers and authors and speakers out there. We have an author on Hay House, Stuart Wilde. We have Aeolia now for meditation, and Veronica for love and attracting a specific person. And we're bubble wrapping the I am that I am affirmation recording engine for other authors and speakers. And I'm so involved in and I love it so much that I forget to eat, I forget to drink my water. I'm staring at the screen for so long, and then you start noticing that your health is important. So I'm learning to now disengage from my work from time to time and focusing on health, because like you said earlier,
let's have a deep breath, Chris. Let's have a deep breath.
Yeah.
Feels good, huh?
Yeah. Sometimes you need to take like 3 to 5 deep breaths, disengage from your work, and stretch a little bit. You mentioned your cat. When your cat wakes up in the morning, it has this automatic stretching routine.
Every single time. He's not missing a one time. He just is like, wow, that was good. And now he's ready.
You know what? That's what we need to have, is a template that works for you in terms of stretching, because there's hundreds and thousands of different stretch routines out there, but it may not work for your body type. So find a stretch routine that works for you. Find a cleansing routine that works for you in terms of detoxing, and then find an eating plan routine that works for you, and an exercise routine that works for you, and a money saving routine that works for you. And the one that I want to focus on is that detoxing and eating template, because I already have a good exercise template that works for me.
I've seen some of your videos. And you're kicking ass, and I mean your grip hold these days. I don't know when I saw that video, if that's a new video, but you're hanging on. I mean,
it's a lot of rock climbing. It's a lot of door frame pull-ups. You know, your door frame has like less than an inch.
Sounds
thick.
good. So okay, I'm thinking mini habits here. Okay, so we're developing something new together now. That's awesome. Also, mini habits for developing. Stretching routines.
It's like a starter plan for yourself, right? Like a starter plan. Find a plan, mold it, make it work for you, and then maybe you have to modify your plan maybe a couple months down the road. But like your bone broth fasting, this happens to be something that works for me because it really does reset your body by getting rid of all of the toxins that's in your gut, and then start eating slowly and introducing foods back into your diet. And once you get that bone broth fasting template for yourself, move on to a healthy eating template. You know, how much protein do you need? How much fats and carbs do you need for your full day? If you're going to train, how much more additional carbs do you need or not? How are you going to divide your meals throughout the day? So you're constantly.
So when you're saying this, I feel that it keeps it can get a little bit complicated, huh? And you know, the story of the podcast is the Visionaries kiss. And I want to emphasize that kiss, because that is to keep it simple, stupid. And I have to remind myself over and over again, we have to keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
So what you're saying here, and the way it works for you and me, is actually you had a vision of yourself, an affirmation, some goals at first. Then all these ideas of how to structure your diet, if that's needed, how to structure your training, all that will come second-handedly. But you need to see yourself the way you want to be before your training program will come. Oh, that's the one I need to do.
Yeah, exactly. You want to kind of visualize your end result. Like, what am I doing this for? Otherwise, every day becomes a random set of actions that's moving you around the place, but not moving anywhere. You're just like, you're in the forest and you're just chopping through the woods, and you're moving left, you're moving right, you're moving backwards. You don't know where you're going. But if you kind of just visualize where do you need to be, you'll be surprised that, you know, it doesn't matter which path you take, you tend to be moving towards that vision.
It's like impossible not to. I'm like, I'm not going to do any work for my vision today. And I sit down, I love to smoke a cigar. So I do that in town, and, you know, people just come to me and they're like, you're having an awesome time. What is it you're working with? What is it you're doing? What are you celebrating? I'm like, I'm not on duty, man, you know, but it's going to be shared anyways.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I agree to that. So this is going to be a great year for all of us. I can really feel that 2020 is going to be an awesome year for you, me, for everyone, especially for those that want to take themselves to the next level in life.
Yes.
And
you know, this is the right time. I mean, right now there's so many opportunities right now to take action and step up. And I want to. Oh, you had something to say. I wanted to hear the last part. I want to hear a little bit where you're at also. So that's
okay. So where I'm at right now is that obviously I'm working on these apps, but at the same time, I want to share more of my wisdom in terms of fitness, health, and mindset. Yeah. So I've decided to make 100 videos on YouTube this year, and I know that's, you know, I'm not trying to monetize. I mean, if that happens, then that's beautiful. But my goal is just because I've always been making videos, from Ninja Warrior to family videos. It's been in my family. My dad's always had a camera. My dad's always videotaping himself and his style of vlogging back then. And I'm like catching myself doing the same thing. I'm like, why do I want to share my wisdom and knowledge to the world. And some people like to show up physically. Some people like to write a book. Some people like to do podcasts. I like to create videos. This is my way of sharing my knowledge and wisdom. So I want to create not just, you know, epic drone video cinematography type of style. I want to create that, plus give you guys like 3 healthy tips for this, or 5 ways to stretch in the morning, or eat this, not that type of videos, and offer more value to the world. So my content becomes more shareable. It's entertaining, it's inspirational, it's motivational, and just bringing more of myself. Because if not now, when, Brian? If not now, when? When am I gonna?
Now, so let's celebrate this moment right now, Chris. I mean, you're bringing it forward. You're stating your visions. We know what to expect from you in 2020. I'm gonna hang on to that. I'm gonna come and help you. I'm gonna say, Chris,
has been
my diet, man, because I need that.
You're like, Chris, it's been 3 weeks. Where's your video? Come on.
Video, man.
I'm expecting to be a ninja by the end of this year, Chris. Come on. Anyone can be a ninja. You know what? It's just a mindset. It's the ninja warrior mindset. It's the lifestyle.
Mindset, yeah.
Yeah, it's the ninja spirit, right? You have I Am That I Am, and you have different versions. And I created my own Ninja Spirit app. And that app was just designed for the ninja warriors, or the ones that want to have a strong grip.
Yes. You sent me a link, right?
I'll send you the link, but I'm more focused on I Am That I Am, only because I Am That I Am encompasses all areas of your life. So my audience might not want just, fitness. They may not want how to be a ninja. They might want to use their mindset in terms of money. They might want to use their mindset in terms of their business, their career, their family, their all of this positive emotional responses you can get from other people.
Positive energy in there.
Yeah, a lot of positivity. So so let's go.
Link for that, yeah.
Yeah, so you're into a lot of you're trying to help others understand their body, right? Understand, why are they eating what they're eating? Why are they hungry? Why are they feeling lethargic and fatigue after having a particular meal? Or
so when you bring it like that, I want to jump in and tell a little bit what I'm doing actually. So the way I work with things is always the mind first. I call it a mind for you, because if you don't set a goal for yourself, or you don't pay attention, and that's really the key. Pay attention. And people are like, what do you mean by that? And now I mentioned sex a couple of times. I'm like, do you want to have sex with someone and not even notice? I mean, what's going on for you? Life is like that. When you feel great, you pay attention to this moment, you're going to feel good.
Yeah.
And when you start to feel good, you will not continue eating things that will lower your energy. You will start paying attention to that. And so the symptoms of most of my clients are that I feel tired in the end of the day. Oh, what did you eat? I mean, what fuel are you putting into the engine? And like, oh, I don't really pay attention. I eat that with this, and I read somewhere that's good. Yeah, but it's not, because you're getting tired. So we need I don't care what you read. Maybe that was for someone else. Maybe his purpose with his body was something else. But you want to have energy there. You want to feel good. So it's all about looking into, and that's what we talked about, that vision of ourselves. What is it there's a reason why I like Teslas instead of.
I love Teslas too. That's on my vision board.
So
that's my ego that says, check out the Tesla on my vision board. But go ahead. Sorry, continue.
Okay, so but there's a reason why we like. I want mine in red, for example, and the reason for that is because that just is my unique way of expressing myself in this moment here. And I feel like that's so important for us, that we embrace our unity with each other as life, but God dang it, we need to express that way, your way. Ninja warrior. I'm never going to be in the ninja warrior. I just climb mountains. It will never be filmed, right? But I love to see it though.
Yeah. You mentioned helping people see things or are being aware or paying attention? What if they don't know what to pay attention to? Like it's in front of their face, but they just don't see it, right? They just don't see what they don't see.
Yeah.
So we almost have to teach people to see these things differently. Otherwise,
that's what happens when you are with a mind trainer. I mean, when I have my talks with people, or they're with my pages that I have on Facebook,
yeah,
they will learn methods to come aware of. I didn't even know I was tense in my shoulders like that. I was sitting, before you told me. And they will also notice that they're continuously saying negative things about their future, or expecting, or what they're paying attention to. And the way I make them aware of that, of course, I listen to them. I give them a method of learning first to be just aware of the breath, simple meditation on the breath, because the breath is life-giving and it's very gentle. So that's a good place to start practicing it before you go to all that shit of, oh, my stomach hurts, because you want to bring a good feeling, an embracing feeling of the demons in the body. Otherwise, you're going to work against yourself. You're going to, fight the body, and it's like it's defenseless in the beginning, right? I mean, if I do, the body can't run anywhere.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing? And it just has to take what I give it. So I teach in a way to become aware, first of all. And then also, as what we were doing together here, I asked, so what do you see? What do you see in the future? And you spill it out, because that's how you become aware of, oh, that's actually what I want to make. The more we speak that, the more we see that and share that with others, the easier it is to become that version that we want. Because, oh, actually, I just saw it. It's a little bit closer to me now.
Yeah, exactly. There's a quote, or not really a quote, from Sadhguru in Inner Engineering. I don't know if you've heard of Sadhguru.
I love the guy.
So do I. And he talks about this unconscious, where if you're unconscious about your habits, if you're unconscious of your body, then nature will take its course. And when I say nature will take its course in terms of health and eating, is that if you're unconscious with the way you're eating, then nature will take its course in terms of your outcome. Sometimes you'll be fat, sometimes you'll be skinny, sometimes you'll gain muscle mass, sometimes you'll lose muscle mass. Your results are fluctuating because your actions and your habits are fluctuating. You're not eating at a proper time. There's no template for yourself. You're doing this, you're eating that, you're eating this. So your body's going to change. In your results, sometimes you'll be like, wow, I look great. And then months later, wait, I gained weight. What happened? It's because you're not on a structured, you're unconscious. So we need to become more conscious of the way we eat, conscious of the way we our eating habits and our food and our exercise, become more conscious of that, so we can have a higher probability of the outcome that we're trying to get. So that our outcome is more of what we want. And we have more control of our outcome because we are consciously deciding how we're going to eat. We're consciously deciding how we're going to exercise. So then you can create the result that you want better versus just letting go. You know how sometimes in spirituality, you just want to let go and do nothing and everything gets done, right? Let go.
Yes.
But I think there's a let go-ness, except you need to have you want to have a desired thought in your mind, right?
So there's two ways, right? So letting go is very good.
Letting go, do nothing, and then nothing gets done.
I mean, okay. So for me, the universe speaks to me because I love to tighten up my bow. So if we imagine that we are an arrow man, what do you call these bowmen?
Yeah, like an archer.
An archer. The archer. It's on the sky at night. So the archer, he needs to first bring everything into a calm state so he can focus on the target. And then when he knows, oh, that's the target I want to hit, you see that when you're calm. The next thing is he wants to tighten up that bow with just enough that it's going to hit the target, no more, no less. So you want to, that's where you actually start to do the training, you start to take action, but you're still tightening up. Right, you're tightening up everything so it fits you, and you keep your eyes on the focus, on the target. Focus on the target. But then, when it is that you need to do your ninja warrior, you got to let go. You have to let go in a way that I've done all my training. There's no more I can prepare for.
Wow. Yes.
You have to let that go. You have to, oh, that's it now.
Yeah, I've done everything I could up to this
Yes.
point. When I'm standing in front of that starting line, don't think anymore. Don't need to think. Just do what you always do.
Yeah.
And enjoy yourself.
Yes. And then it's small moments every day. It's when I wake up, I learn to give myself a smile. Why? Because in a relationship, when I wake up, I can share that smile, and that's going to bring something to that relationship. But small things every day compound interest.
Yes, it sure does, man. It sure does. And then, you know what, in terms of getting your result, that's not the end, guys. That's not the end. I mean, yeah, it's a good way to have a target. It gives you something to strive towards. You become a different, better version of yourself just because you're moving towards that target. But it doesn't stop when you get your result, because life still goes on after that.
Yes.
It's what do you do after you hit the goal? What do you do to maintain yourself, and how to improve yourself? Because sometimes people, you know, they hop on stage and they're this bodybuilding champion, and like the next year they gain 20, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
They get more complacent, and then they have this plaque on the wall. I mean, I felt myself like that after Ninja Warrior, after the finals. Yep. I gained 10 pounds after Ninja Warrior finals, because I'm like, oh, I'm a ninja. I made it to the finals. I'm already good. I can eat McDonald's.
But you're never your past. The past is done, right? You're only what you see here and now. This is where we're at. This is where we start to create. This is also where we bring out what it is that moves forward. Yeah.
I think that's true. Yeah, I think your past is good to as a reminder of as a reference point of maybe where you were, where you are, and where are you going. Obviously, where you're going is better than where you were, and don't focus too much on the past, because you were who you were at that moment in the past. You were who you needed to be at that moment.
Yeah.
Who you are today is someone different than you were yesterday.
And tomorrow, Chris, I will be someone different too.
Yeah, me too. If I go out tonight, it is Las Vegas.
But I like that also, because people are like, what is forgiveness really? And that is to see the one sitting in front of you without a past of him having done anything wrong, and seeing, but you right now here, you are fresh, you are alive, you are now.
And being okay with that, you know. I want to get into this whole really quick on changing the subjects in terms of health and gut. Yeah, I'm struggling with, which I'm sure some of the audience members that are listening or watching this video, and in terms of the bloating that you get from eating certain foods. I at times cleanse my body and then I eat food back in, but I have been eating healthier, but there's times I still get this bloating feeling sensation. And you know how some bodybuilders, when they exercise, they're really ripped if they squeeze, but once they let go of their core, the gut just sticks out, and they got abs, but it just sticks out a little bit. And I have a slight bloating type of gut that I try to suck it in, but that I've learned to relax. You know what, forget it, you know, just enjoy who I am, right? Just be accepting of it. But I want to learn how to keep that nice, tight stomach that is lean. I do have lean muscle mass, but there's a slight bloating. How do you get rid of the bloating? Is that you got to do more fasting every week, 24-hour fasting?
Okay, so usually what happens, so to get into this and make people understand what's going on, the stomach is a chemistry factory. What it does, it gets something in that is like a banana, and the banana doesn't look at all like a muscle, and it doesn't look like the skin. So it needs to digest everything with chemistry in order to process what is in that banana and put it into the body.
All right.
If we are putting things in that needs to be digested differently, let's say we take a steak together with a fruit. Now we have two things that is digested completely differently. So the stomach needs to develop two kinds of chemicals at the same time, and that overloads the system. When we overload the system, we get bloated. Boom, the stomach starts to open up. Not sure exactly that's what you talked about actually when I'm feeling, but that's one way of having a bloated stomach. because we put something in it that is not digested properly together.
So the combination of meals that you eat sometimes can be a big, like you mentioned last week, where eating too much at the same time, almost many different variations of food all at the same time, your body doesn't know how to digest. And maybe, and when I feel anxious, because that's what I struggled with, and that's what I'm still slightly struggling with, is a little bit of anxiety. When you have anxiety, sometimes you want to eat to feel better. You want to eat to feel good. And
this is a common symptom treatment, which is basically what the society and our doctors are doing these days. There are great doctors as well. I'm not saying anything, but mainly what we're doing is, you have mental health issues. Yeah, here's a pill. It's gonna help you not to notice what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, let's mask it so you don't know what's really going on at the source.
You don't know shit, because it's gonna feel like, whoa, I lost my senses, and new issues will come up. So what you're telling me is, I have a feeling in my body. Every feeling is happening in our mammal brain. So we have a reptile brain, which is the fight and flight mode.
Okay.
Which controls the heart, your parasympathetic nervous system. It controls heart rate, body temperature, and fight or flight mode.
Right.
And we have the mammal brain. The mammal brain controls our emotions, habits, attachment. And we can be attached to certain ways of feeling, ways of being. And when that happens, is that the mammal brain also wants to protect. That's actually the mind that's attached to a certain identity, not a free mind, so to speak. So it will be attached to a certain emotion. So when you experience something coming up, because this body here, when you fast, it will release all emotional things that has been tightened up inside. You know, we say to people, you just have to push through it. Yeah, but that emotion is going to stick, right?
Yeah, right,
so
right,
you relax and you open up, you're going to feel that tenseness. And the best way to handle that is basically through breathing exercises. The Wim Hof method is a very simple breathing exercise. Cold showers helps also to release all emotional tension in the body. But eating will actually maintain that emotion in your body, because what you're doing is you are distracting your mind from feeling the body into saying, hey, there's food in the body, you take care of this now, not emotions, you know, fuck emotion. We got to take care of digesting that. And the body does that because that's a survival mechanism. So you go back to the reptile brain. What you want to do is, because the third brain is where you want to be, that's your conscious, your creative, abstract thoughts, it's your imagination. That's where you're creating your vision. And that's where you want to flow. That's your flow state.
Okay.
You want to be in that part of your brain, and you do that by embracing emotions and not being reactive to them. You do that by knowing how to handle your breath.
Yeah.
Paying attention to what's going on with a forgiving mindset, with an embrace of, that feels good. That's okay. It's never fight or flight. Unless there's a tiger, it's fight or flight.
Yeah.
Usually it's never fight or flight. It's always, and hey, what triggers me here? What is it that I want to create more of? And now, myself personally, I've been in a way back in problem of triggering and being angry with people, fighting the world, and they were always wrong and I was right. Always 100%. 100%. 100%. But it didn't fix my fucking issue. So I had to look into, how do I get into my embrace of emotion so I can bring to the world what I want to, regardless of what's going on. And that happens in the abstract thinking, in the third brain, your cerebellum, the gray area in the brain, the gray cortex, neocortex.
Your pineal gland, your third eye, that third eye.
And the whole neocortex. And that is developed actually extremely by fasting. As you fast over the next, let's say someone listening right now, if you start fasting this day, first off, what's going to happen is no stomach in the, no food in the stomach.
No food in the stomach.
That means you're going to have full awareness of how your body is feeling. Ta-da, this is actually how you're feeling. And most people are going to be like, oh shit, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good. Yeah.
You haven't been feeling good for a long time, my friend.
And it's just releasing, right? And it's just releasing through your body. And you can start feeling these emotions that used to be held in. It's starting to let go. So you're going to feel ranges of emotions as you go through your fasting.
So imagine that you hold your emotional spectrum here, right? Good, bad. Okay, I'm here. You know, that's safe for me. You start to fast and you feel like, oh shit, man, I can feel a lot better, but I can also feel a lot worse. And then what you're doing after the fast, if you don't go back to eating, is you're going to expand your range of emotion to like, I cannot even have it on the camera, and to like being out here. Because you start to embrace more emotions. And whenever you feel something during a fast, what that really is you're letting go of that. The same with meditation is the same. When you sit, you meditate, you're like, all my thoughts are coming up. I'm like, yes, that's supposed to happen, you know, that because that's the way you let them go.
Yeah, let them go. Don't judge them. Just be aware that they're there.
So that's the spiritual part, as you said, about letting go. That is to embrace what is without reacting to it. So that happens with fasting and breathing exercises.
I gotcha.
Then you opened up space with the meditation as well. You opened up space for becoming the ninja warrior, huh?
Yeah, that's when.
And you can take the right action. You can eat the foods that you need to eat, because you've seen what you want to create, because we are essentially creators.
Yeah, I totally agree. Your intuition starts kicking in, and you get these inspired feelings and action, or the thoughts that just show up. It's like magic almost. It's like when you meditate. What do they say? You got like 90,000 thoughts occurring every day that repeats itself.
That's that 80 to 120,000 thoughts. I think, I don't know how they calculate that.
I don't know what to calculate that.
Synapses that go, you know, in a
so when you start breathing and relaxing, become more aware of your body, you start, you know, the stream of thinking starts slowing down. And you want to get to the point where there's gaps in your thinking, and those gaps allows you to connect to that space, that allows you to connect to the what you call God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, but you feel more open and more aware. And I think I
can show you that like this. So let's say your mind, this is your mind without meditation. There's not much space to put anything new. It's already here, right?
It's already full. It's all full. Yeah.
But then we start meditating. So what you're going to get is, you got a blank page where you can put anything you desire.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It clears you up, and then you can start visualizing and creating. Now you're the creator, you know, now you are the creator in that sense, where you're not constantly thinking that every thought has to be true and I have to think about this right now.
Just sounds stressful to me also.
Very stressful, man. I have lots of things going on in my mind on a continuous basis. Subconsciously, I'm thinking about my projects, even though I'm not consciously thinking about them, because I'm an overachiever, as you can tell through Ninja Warrior, through my apps, through my training and all that stuff. I'm an overachiever. So when I tell myself that something is going to get done, it's going to get done. So subconsciously, I'm working to get it done. So they can kind of, when they creep up, and they're in now the surface where you're consciously aware of them, it can sabotage your present moment, because your present moment is very, very pure. And now it's being bombarded with all of these things to do. You got to do this now. It has to be done. You're the only one that can do it. You know, and
the mind is it's very convincing, right? It's
very
super convincing. I mean,
it's like, oh, give me a second, I'm gonna do this first now, and
I gotta do it. You know, you can't sleep now. Are you nuts?
I gotta answer this
tomorrow. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, so it's and then guess what happens when you're in that fight or flight mode all the time? You're in that stress mode, anxiety kicks in, and when you're stressed, your digestive tract turns off. I'm learning that you cannot digest food properly because it's trying to run away from a tiger. Why am I going to digest this chicken and rice that I just ate when I'm freaking out right now and I need to go run away from this tiger? I'd rather have all the energy and strength to run versus digesting my food. So when I'm anxious, I tend to want to eat more food because that, you're right, it makes me feel better. So I mask the real problem. And then when I'm eating food, guess what happens? It doesn't digest properly. I can feel the tension in my chest. My heart starts to feel weird. I can feel the acid reflux coming up my esophagus. And then my stomach doesn't feel good. And then guess what happens? I end up throwing up. And I end up throwing up the food. I feel better. But that's the thing, Brian. I've been struggling with this throwing up on a regular basis. And I know it's because the neglecting my health. I know it's because lack of sleep, and always having projects going on at the same time. So that's why this year I am focusing on being more conscious, more aware of my eating, more conscious, more aware of my habits, my actions, my patterns. So and modify it that works for me. So then I have a strong working template that is specifically designed for Chris Workman. And I suggest,
sounds great. I love that.
Everybody to have their own specific template for their life, you know, whatever life. If you feel like you've got a handle on your health, hey man, power to you. That's good. I'm glad you got a handle on your health. A lot of people that are in denial, they always say, oh, I got a handle on my life. I'm fine. Let me drink this beer. I got a handle on my life. Let me eat this cheeseburger.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm glad you feel good when you're doing that. I just, you know, there's going to be a point in your life where your body says enough is enough. I'm feeling really sick. I need to cleanse. And this is where they'll hopefully come and talk to you, because they're going to say, Brian, let me in. I'm sick. I need some.
Hey, Chris, I just had a group actually doing fasting. And and about that fasting, I mean, whenever you can fast for over a day, your body does something amazing. It's like, oh, there's no food coming. Yes.
So
we can clean out all that old rubbish of immune system that doesn't work anymore, old cells, the liver, if there's fatty liver or something, it starts to boom, blow out glycogen from the liver to give you energy. And it takes about 3 days to start resetting your system. 3 days only. And then with some guidance, a little breath work, little meditation, and also setting your goals for what you want, you can actually have a free new 2020 for yourself after that little period of open space. I mean, how good is your life? Why should you continue doing all this work when what all you're doing is putting more stress into it?
I know. I agree, man. I agree. If you're doing all these amazing things, but then you're operating, your machine is like, you don't have any oil, you have no gas, and you're still operating. You're like this clunky machine that's going to break down at any moment.
Yes.
You know? And sometimes you need to pull over, change your tires, put some oil in there, and clean out your system, change the oil, add some new fresh gasoline, and then you'll notice you'll be able to handle life a lot easier. I'm looking at this 72 hours of fasting diagram that you presented to me. End of 24 hours, your body runs on these ketones, and I guess this helps with burning off fat, and it uses fat.
Your brain will start to redevelop also, because brain what is called BNDF protein is start to actually come in, building new neurons for
So do you suggest, like, I know there are times people do 24-hour fastings maybe once a week, or even like a 16-hour fast even. I know that's good to help, cell renewal, helps you with cleaning. But after 24 hours, like I do 3-day bone broth fastings or 4 days. And it's tough. It is tough. After the second day or near the end of your second day, you have to almost walk on your tippy toes. You have to be
How many times have you done it? Because it's usually not continuing like that. And there's a reason for it.
I've done it 3 times now, but it's only when I feel massive symptoms creep in, or I've noticed that my eating habits are bad, and I just really need a detox and kind of start. It's always a big reset button in my life.
Okay, good. Because what happens after 24 hours, and everybody of my participants in the courses, they experience that. They go, 24 hours, that was pretty easy. I'm not having any issue. The second day, and they're like, oh my God, Brian, I have a headache. I'm not sure this is good for me. The body feels even worse. And I'm like, yeah, but this is all the shit getting cleaned out. It's okay if you lay down, but it will help to do a little light exercise, because your body is cleaning out now.
I think a good tip for day number 2, actually every day, is to drink. To me, every hour on the hour, just keep drinking. And when I say every hour on the hour, I mean like refill your mug every hour. Because I have this mug that I fill up, and I notice as I'm sipping it, because it's pretty hot, right? You heat up. I use the crock pot method, where I put an organic chicken in the crock pot, fill it up with water with Epsom salt. I meant Celtic sea salt.
But Epsom salt is good.
Epsom salt, if you want to jump in the chicken and relax, relax with the chicken in the hot tub. It's a crock pot. You put your chicken in there and the apple cider vinegar, and then after 24 hours, you take the meat out. You let the bones just disintegrate in the water. But I drink that. I fill up my mug, I'm drinking it, but I notice that when I'm feeling like I have a headache or I don't feel good, I just keep drinking. I fill my stomach up. If you're getting a headache, it's probably because you're not drinking enough bone broth. You need to keep yourself full. So for me, I drink where I'm just a constant flow of bone broth through my system. And I'm noticing I'm having lots of bowel movements. I'm peeing a lot more. I'm getting all the toxins out of my body. But in order for me to feel good throughout my entire bone broth fasting, is that I just drink continuously. Every hour I have to refill my mug, drink it. The next hour it's empty. I refill my mug, add more water to my, to the bone broth pot, kick up the heat, keep drinking, and I keep doing that over and over. And I've noticed that I don't get as many headaches as most people have, because I'm constantly drinking. But again, I'm drinking an organic crock pot. I know you can do bone broth fastings with those bags that are pre-made. I don't know. I've never tried that, or with a bone broth powder with boiling that.
I have no experience with that. I mean, I usually recommend, there's the bone broth, but I actually recommend water fasting with just a slight cup of tea in the evening with parsley and a little bit drops of lemon, and that's it. And the way I usually handle I don't get the headaches anymore, but my body is super clean. But what happens is I do the breathing exercises. The breathing exercise is going to fill yourself. The Wim Hof, he calls it getting high on your own supply. And you really do. You do the breathing exercises, 3 rounds, and you're high, man. You feel good. You're fresh. You filled up your body with so much adrenaline that you just feel good. You can handle the stress that comes out of the body that has been there for a long time. You can handle that. You're staying clear. And that's what it helps you with.
How much water do you think you consume within an hour, or maybe throughout your entire day? Have you ever counted?
Well, it depends, right? If I'm not so sweaty, I drink less. I would say like this: rather drink, if you feel thirsty, drink a lot of water rather than having small sips. Because if you're having small sips all the time, your brain will be filled up with water because you're flushing out salt.
Okay.
Yes. So it's better to take a big sip, like
big gulps. Yeah, I do that. Yes.
And what the body does, it puts everything through the system, takes what water it needs, and let the rest go. But it's not gonna ruin the salt balance. Okay, in the natrium in your body, natrium chloride, right? That's a salt. It's not gonna fluid that out because your blood will change, right? It needs a specific balance. And if you put a little bit water in all the time without being thirsty, though, that balance is going to be moved, and especially during fasting, you don't want that balance out of hand. So it's better to take a big sip. And of course, if you feel thirsty, drink water. If you feel thirsty, drink water is because the balance is off. So
how often do you do your fasting? So you do fasting for how many days? First of all, when you do a fasting session, is it mostly 24 hours? Is it 72 hours usually when you do a complete bone broth fast? And then how often do you do it? So
I actually don't do bone broths anymore.
I'm sorry. Water fasting.
So fasting in general. So water fasting, I do it 3 to 4 times a year.
3 to 4 times a year.
Yes, okay. I want to start the spring with a long fast, preferably 3 to 7 days.
3 to 7 days.
Yes, and something happens because what happens is 24 hours, your body starts to cleanse itself. The next 24 hours is all about cleaning.
Yeah.
Living on ketones, which your heart likes. So your blood pressure will fall, your heart will be improved, your brain will start to function sharp, ready. After 48 hours, everything goes up from there. Stem cells starts to get activated. Stem cells, they remove old immune system and build new immune system. Sorry, it's autophagy removes the old immune system. Stem cells create new. And stem cells, they get activated after about 48 hours. They start at 24 hours, but when you measure it in the body, there's a graph. And after 48 hours, they're starting to peak. Okay. And after 72 hours, that's where they're peaking. But that's why I don't want to stop after 72 hours, because everything is at peak. It's like having a company where everybody's just working peak time, they can do everything the perfect way.
Yeah.
So if I want to start really regenerating a new liver, and I mean a new liver because it's taking out the old, putting in the new, and new kidneys, new brain, and people like new, yes, new.
Yeah, new.
It's
old
a
cells
recycle.
die. Yeah, it's a recycle.
It takes it out. It's no longer necessary. And the body didn't have any time to do that before because it was all busy digesting food.
Yeah.
Especially McDonald's food. Takes a long time to digest.
A long time to digest.
It does.
That probably explains all of my bloating feelings.
Yes. So I do that on water with a sip of parsley/lemon tea. Nothing to eat. And the reason why I do that is I want to have autophagy going up. I want to have HGH, human growth hormone, on top. And I want to have my stem cells activated. And I want to be on ketones. And if the body gets anything of fuel, the ketones, they will fall because the body's like, oh, we don't have to create our own ketones. Energy is already, here, so we don't have to do it. Of course, there's a ketonic diet, so there's ways of manipulating the body. But an easy way is fasting, water fasting. So I want to do that for 3 to 7 days at spring, because at summertime, you don't need to eat so much. You want to be more active. There's more sun. Then I want to do 3 more fast or 2 more fasting where it's just 2 to 3 days, preferably 3 days, but 2 to 3 days is just fine. It's just to clean out stomach, give my whole system a rest. I mean, you take your car and you take it to maintenance and you do that regularly. And if you don't do that, suddenly it will take 15 days to be maintained, right? And you don't want to have that going on every single month.
How do you eat and introduce food back into your diet after you're done doing a water fasting? Do you just eat what you used to eat the week before, or do you start off with just maybe a day of just vegetables on your 6th day before you're done with your fasting? You're just eating vegetables, or maybe just clean chicken with vegetables.
I do it.
Are you loading up with carbs after? How do you handle your fasting after the fact?
Yeah. So, and this is the most difficult part of all fast. It's easy not to eat food, and it's easy just to drink water. The emotions are there. When you have to start eating again, you will know how disciplined you are. You will know, because and so this is what I do. Even if it's 3 days or anything more than 3 days, you cannot just start eating again, because your stomach has no insulin. There's no digestive fluids there. All the bacteria is also washed out. So what you want to do is having something very easy to digest. You can have a little bit of preferably organic juice, a little bit, just to see how that goes. The way I do it, what feels good for me, is having an orange.
Okay.
Or some berries. 1 orange.
Okay.
And then I have that orange, I open it up, smell it and everything, because all the senses are like, whoa, we gotta have food, The whole cell system here is having a fucking awesome party because it knows now we're gonna get some food.
Yeah, it can smell things from a mile away,
It knows where the shit is. And it also knows what it doesn't want. So always learn to smell the food after you've been doing fasting, because if you smell to candy, and you really feel afterwards in your system, you'll feel like, oh, that tense up. I don't want tense. I want, nice.
I want to relax. I want to feel good. Yeah.
I want to be able to
man.
move when I want to move and relax.
Yes.
I want to relax. So an orange, I start with an orange. If that feels okay, I will have an hour or 2 hours pause, maybe even up to 3 hours, and then I'll have a salad. I will check out with a simple salad, nothing added, no meat or anything, salad with some vegetables.
What about getting into your exercising routine? Do you jump right into exercising afterwards, or you want to wait a week after you're fasting before you start pumping iron again back at the gym? If you're someone that like myself,
no, you can start your exercises. Feel for it. If you get, I mean, everything is working for you. You want to do light resistance training, but you are super endurance. Your endurance system is just ongoing. I mean, when we were hunters, right?
Yeah.
There's no food. We had to run thousands of kilometers, maybe on a week.
On a good day.
Over time. But you could run a lot because you wanted to get that food and you needed to do that. So the body is equipped to do that, but it's not for heavy weight lifting. It's not to build the muscles. It's for endurance.
I see.
So you want to do light resistance training, but you can start with your endurance. Many reps, no problem.
Okay, that's good to know. And then while you're fasting, obviously you want to make sure that you have a positive environment, a calm, supportive environment. I mean, if you got kids running around and dogs barking all the time,
that's a challenge.
That's a challenge, right? Because the idea of when you're doing fasting is that you have an increased ability to adapt to stress. So when you have a stressful environment, right, the idea is that you don't want to react to the environment. You want to respond, because if you're reacting, then you're burning up more calories. You might feel more sick, more a headache. So you become more of a response to the situation. But it's challenging for people that work all day long and doing a fasting. Like these ladies at this functional medicine doctor facility, they're doing water fasting, and I don't know how they can work while doing a water fasting. I mean, you guys are walking around, answering phone calls, and you're water fasting. You guys are amazing. But for me, I would need to have like 3-4 days of like literally no work. I can't work. I'd rather just watch Netflix and chill and just read a book or something and watch some short videos and educational videos and just relax. Because if I do 2 days of fasting and then the second 2 days, the third and fourth day, I'm at my job, I'm not going to be able to perform at my utmost best because I'm detoxing. I can't use up all of that blood sugar in my brain just to come up with, answers to these complex.
And that's funny you say it, because the brain is what uses 20-30% of the body's energy.
Yeah.
And how much is it weighing? A kilo or two max, right?
Right. It's a muscle. It's a huge.
It's a huge one. So yes, you want to learn to be in a meditative state. And just to finish how to break a fast, because it's important, you want to take the first day as light as possible. And if that goes good, you'll probably have a bowel movement and you'll also go to the toilet. You've not been on the toilet, right? For about 4 days now, maybe 5 if you fasted for 7 days, you've not been on the toilet.
Oh, really? No, when I'm fasting, I'm always on the toilet. Maybe
but you do a bone broth, it's different. But
that's true. That's true.
Yes, but if you're doing a water fast, after 2 days, the body's like, okay, no more food coming in. Everything just stops. Everything stops. And I'm not on the toilet for 5 days. And it's a funny experience though. But you eat a little bit and you will be on the toilet. And sometimes it can be a mess. But if you do it correctly, introduce the foods slowly. So the first day you want to have maybe a little bit fruit, only just a little bit fruit. That's it. The next day, maybe a salad. Try out with some vegetables, cucumber, and something with a lot of water in it that stabilizes everything in your body. On the third day, so it takes actually these 3 days to get back to a diet. On the third day, you want to introduce, if you're not on a ketonic diet, you can have your oats, you can have some nuts together also. And then you want to introduce a little bit of yogurt with yogurt, because you want these bacteria in your stomach back in. So it has to have acidophilus. Is a bacteria that works very good in the stomach. You want yogurt with that in it on the second or third day. Probiotics.
Yeah, get billions of probiotics in there. Get some fiber in your gut.
Yes, and you want to do that on the second or the third day. And after that, when you can that after that day, you can eat a normal diet.
See, that's the thing, man. It's about regenerating cells. It's about having to become the best version of yourself, where you can think clearly, no brain fog, you feel good, you have radiant skin, you have your body is just it's a real well-oiled machine.
Yes.
And the actions and behaviors that you take, you have a different aura in terms of doing them. You do them in a very graceful, different kind of way, and you just overall feel good. And when you feel good, the world around you is good, and then you attract more goodness into your life. But it all comes from you, your well-being, the wellness, the health. And like you said, if you're neglecting that, it's gonna fall. You might break down. You know, in the 7 habits of highly effective people, in this category 2, they call it, where you want to focus on the important and not urgent category. Because if it's important and urgent, it's already too late. You know, it's like your body's breaking down. It's important. Your body's breaking down. It's urgent. There's a lot of stress in that.
Yeah.
If you can focus on what's important and not urgent, like your health, right? Then you can prepare for things into the future. You can always prepare for what's about to come. So
being proactive
too. And before doing your fasting, I think it's very important to focus on how you're going to eat after your fasting and prepare that. Because
or join a group. I mean, for many people, it's not about doing a fast alone. They need a group. They need that support.
Yeah, support. You need that support. You need.
Why not ask for support? I mean, how come everybody wants to be a hero and then they don't get it done? I mean, the hero is also the guy who says, I want to be part of a group, because you're bringing people in as well. You're not only doing it for yourself, you're bringing everybody in and you're saying, hey, let's do it together. And that's also engaging. So be part of a group, a community that does these things, friends, or find someone online. It would be the best money you invest for a lifetime.
So where can I find this group? Because I am interested in doing 3 to 4 times a year fasting. I will make an attempt 1 out of the 4 to do water fasting and just get the experience alone. And maybe I'll have daily vlogs that shows you how I'm progressing. Like
awesome, that would be lovely. Actually, we have the ultimate. We have
water.
We will do a water fast.
Yeah.
I mean, springtime for sure, Workman. We are going to do a water fast, and we're going to feel great after that, and we'll have no issues.
So I'm going to lose muscle mass in the process.
You won't. No.
I will not lose any muscle mass. That's
HGH, growth hormone. What it does is it protects everything that works.
Okay. I'm ready to do that. So I'll join this group, everybody.
Yeah.
I will do a water fasting with you guys if you guys are still watching this channel.
If you're still with us here, you're sucked in. It's too late. You have to do something about it.
You got to do something about it. So this is a complete learning process. And I apologize, I'm talking a little faster now because I've been consuming so much water that my body wants to eliminate as I'm holding in the tension.
Chris, I think we've touched everything I want to do here in the podcast with you. It has been awesome to have you here on the channel. Great talk. I know you and I, we can do, that's how we
talk. We can talk forever, man. I really love it.
But we will also do the stuff. I mean, it's not only talk, we walk the walk, yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
For everybody out there, it's good to talk, but I mean, walk the walk is the real shit. And
yes, it is.
We touched about the mindset. You shared it very well. We touched about attitude. Have a loving attitude. Have a positive attitude. Bring that what you want to life. But we want to hear a little bit about that vision of yours, because you said about vlogging, but we know there's something about the Ninja Warriors, and we are also going to see an I Am That I Am app or what was coming up. So can you tell us a little bit about the vision you have for 2020?
Okay, 2020 and my vision is to help awaken the world, right? There's a lot of people on this planet that are suffering in terms of where they are in life. They're suffering mentally. They feel like they're not where they need to be, and there's just a struggle. So 2020 for me is about helping others become more aware of themselves, and I want to help people wake up to their inner demons, wake up and shed more light into the world. And I'm going to do that through my YouTube videos. I want to inspire and motivate people. I'm developing an I Am That I Am product. I've already developed it, but we're still developing it, Kingsley and I, and we're making it more beautiful so people can shift their mindset from negative thinking to positive thinking, right? And retrain your brain to create more desires into your life. In terms of my Ninja Warrior fitness, I will train hard. There's no guarantee that I'm going to get on the show this year, because every year there's more and more applicants that are applying. I did very well for season 8. Season 9, I took 10 and 11 off due to health reasons. But now Chris Workman's stronger, he's healthier, and he's coming back. Awesome. So you're going to see me, you know, I'm going to be really strong this year. And if I don't make it on the show, well, guess what? I am one of the strongest versions of myself. I'm really strong because of Ninja Warrior.
So when new opportunities might come your way.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation. Whether I'm on the show, whether I'm on the show or not on the show, I am still a ninja at heart. I am still strong-minded, and that's what you're going to see, guys. More videos, applications being developed, and whether or not I make it on Ninja Warrior, I will let the whole world know. And if not, you guys will still see me progress. You'll still see me become stronger. My grip strength is going to be amazing. I'm going to be able to do one-arm pull-ups with 2 fingers. I can already do push-ups with 2 fingers. Now let's try some pull-ups, you know? So it's going to be a challenge for myself, an awesome challenge. So let's do this, man.
Thank you very much, Chris. Awesome to have you here, Chris Workman. Whoa, you're living up to your name, by the way. And
Workman.
Thanks for a great talk. Everybody out there, I hope you enjoyed this little podcast of ours, the Visionaries Kiss. We tried to make it as simple as possible, short as possible, but I see we're going on a little bit over an hour now. Well, bear with us here. You know, it's all about, getting into the right mindset. That's what we wanted also to share with you all here. That's why we did this live show. I'm sure I'll have another talk with you further on, Chris. And you talked about that Ultimate Students Group. That's what it's called right now. It's the Ultimate.
All right.
It's on Facebook. You can find it there. There'll be a link for that in the description below. And we do all kinds of stuff there. Mindset training. We do fasting. We do the Wim Hof breathing. So check that out if you want to join us. And there's a free, actually open course right now at the 30th of January. You'll have me going on for some hours, giving you what we need, training together. So check that out as well. With that being said,
thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. And thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. You guys are awesome.
Thank you very much, Chris. And have a deep breath, everyone. Take a relaxed, chill pill.
And have an awesome 2020, guys. You guys all take care.
Let's do it, man. Okay.
All right.
I'm out. Take care.
Peace.
Oh, that's good.